Hi guys, and welcome to this afternoon slash evenings for wherever you are in the world writing live stream. Hello if you're watching the replay as well. It's nice to have you here. Basically, okay, so new background. If you don't know, I won't shut up about it, so I'm surprised you don't know by now, but I am in Germany. That's why my background is different. I'm trying to pull up the comments. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it. I haven't been on like StreamYard in a hot minute because, my life has been changing recently. I am in Germany for the summer and doing some work, have an internship, walking a lot, writing a lot in the past few days. And also I wanted some company. So that is why I'm here live tonight / this afternoon if you're in the United States. But I am not. So if I keep saying evening, that's why. But hello, how is everyone doing? What are y'all planning to write today? As far as I'm concerned, I've been writing Project Faye a lot at work because my manager is we're like passing ships. Like we're having a bit of a he hasn't given me my project yet, so I have like a whole lot of free time in the office. So I just make myself busy by working on Project Faye. So that is what I've been doing for the past few days at work. And this means a lot of progress has happened in Project Faye, progress that I am mostly happy with, but also today I've just been doing like a really long read through, like a correction pass, like because there are some like logical things that needed to be fixed, some like plot holes that I needed to quickly fill before they got bigger. So aside from working on chapter 9 today, which is almost finished, I don't really have the ending for it yet, but I might figure that out today. I've also been working between chapters 1 through 9, so from the beginning to now, to try to fix those little continuity errors or little comments. And right now I'm in the beginning of chapter 7, so I'm pretty far in. I think I'll probably finish my commenting pass soon. And yeah, that's where I'm at today in Project Faye. And if you've never been to one of my live streams before, we're gonna have 4 sprints ahead of us: 15 minutes, 25, 35, and then the last sprint is gonna be a random number of minutes, which reminds me I need to go get my deck of cards at some point. So if I don't remember, I will have to do it right before the 4th sprint, and that will be okay. If you hear background noise, something I must say about Germany is that, or at least where I am, there's so many more birds, like all the time I can hear birds. Right now I hear the bell of the clock tower / church tower. I'm not really sure which one it is. Yeah, I can just hear like wind, birds, and bells all the time. So there's never a it's never dead silent, and I appreciate that. Okay, well, friends, I am going to load up, that's not the right word, queue up, share the timer for today's writing stream. Sorry, I got distracted by something I don't even remember. Here I am getting distracted again. It's probably the bells outside. They're going on. They're going on and on and on. I was gonna say something in German for you guys, but I have stage fright, so I'm not doing that. Maybe later. But yeah, I will start our first 15-minute writing sprint. Please use this as a warm up to like dip yourself into your work in progress, to get your feet wet, to have that first little push of writing today. Or if you need to get a snack, if you need to get up, do some stretching, or make yourself a beverage, that would also be a perfect time. Okay, see you guys in 15 minutes. Happy writing. Oh, I think I don't know how I can, like, the noise my timer makes at the end is not being conveyed. I'm unsure why that is, whether it's a setting on this timer. Oh yeah, I didn't turn on any sound. Okay, well, I will fix that for the next sprint. Anyway, that is the end of our first 15-minute sprint. Let me know about your progress. So I think I've basically finished my corrections pass of Project Faye, and I'm just waiting on feedback from my co-creator, which, might be a while because he has the flu right now. So in the meantime, I've also started working on some beta reader feedback that I need to finish soon. I'd say by the end of next week, but I actually want to finish it tomorrow, and I probably will at work. Anyway, I hope that sprint was productive for you. I'd say it was productive for me. I feel like I had something else to say, but unsure what it was. So, oh yeah, I did not figure out the ending for chapter 9. I didn't even think about it. I did think about the fact that I want chapter 10 to be a montage, like a 3-week montage, kind of like a Karate Kid style, like learning how to improve your craft and like train up kind of thing. It's not going to be like she's not fighting or anything, but I think it'll still be fun for me. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'll actually put my laptop on the table instead of in my lap. We're good. What was I saying? I don't know. That completely derailed my train of thought. How are you guys this afternoon? What have you been up to recently? Any like life changes happening? Any good books you've read recently, or new discoveries about being a writer? I feel like recently I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, but I think I've finally discovered my limit. Like when I'm listening to an audiobook, I have I guess like a saturation limit. Like I can only listen to so much of it before I'm like, okay, that was enough story for today. And I think it's around the 2.5 hour mark. Because like if I'm walking to work, it'll be like 25 minutes, and then I'm walking home to 25 minutes, but also at work, lunch is an hour. So that's like almost 2 hours right there. And then I might be listening to it. Actually, I think that's my limit. So I guess just shy of 2 hours is my limit for audiobook saturation. But I'd say it depends on the book. Recently, I've been listening to Delicious Monsters, and I finished that by Lizelle Sandbury. And something about that book was okay. Here's the thing: like, I'm not into horror. I'm not into like body horror, that kind of stuff. But something about Lizelle's book, and I'm saying Lizelle because she's an author tuber, not because I know her, but Lizelle's book, something about it was just so compelling that I didn't care that it was horror. Like I was able to still read it, like even in at the body horror parts of the book, and it was like I wanted to know what happened anyways, and I think that makes it a really good book. And oh my gosh, I have a May wrap up to film at the end of May. I'll probably do it this weekend. This weekend, I have another long weekend. If you saw my vlog that came out earlier today, you will know that during that vlog, I had a 4-day weekend. So that was nice and productive in some ways and unproductive in others, but that's okay. Everyone needs a break. What was I talking about? Lizelle's book, and then what? It was a compelling book. May wrap up. I need to film that soon. And I guess I'm going to be talking about obviously this Germany life trip in my side quest, and probably talk about, I don't know, maybe I'll just be general about the side quest because there's so much to talk about in terms of Germany, like, I don't want it to overshadow the other important parts of that video, which are gonna be reading and writing. So for reading, I think I am gonna mention Lizelle Sambury's book. Any other great books I've read? I've been reading Warcross on my phone, which is by Marie Lu, and it came out in 2017. And it's basically, I'm not that far in, I'm like 35% in, and I'd say it's definitely like Ready Player One, what it wishes it was. Like it's at least 3 times as good as Ready Player One. And Ready Player One did not have good writing, you only came for the plot. Warcross has the writing and the plot. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's cool. The main character has rainbow colored hair, and I like that. Um, Sometimes I've thought about dyeing my own hair. And by my own, I mean getting it dyed for me. I don't think I could ever dye my hair well. The most I can do is cut my hair averagely. I don't think I could dye it, especially, um, gosh, not the back of my head. It's be so difficult. But I thought about going dark blue before, or like a soft, like a reddish tinge. But I'm not sure like what color would suit me. Here I am talking about dyeing my hair on a writing live stream. Can you tell? I've run out of things to talk about. um, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I think I'm gonna jump into the next sprint now if we're all out of topics to discuss, which is perfectly fine. I got some writing to do. You got some writing to do. Hopefully, you guys in the replay are finding this productive and entertaining. It's been a while since I've talked to no one on a sprint, but that's okay. It just gives me practice for what I'm going to say in my videos later. So it's all good. So my sound for anyone who's watching is going to be the bird song. We're going to reset that to a whole. How do I reset this? Hold on. Okay. It's been a while. Can you tell? Okay. 25 minutes on the clock. I will see you guys in 3, 2, 1. Happy writing. All right, friends, that was the end of our second sprint for the evening. How did we do? So I was, just like trucking along, working on my beta reader feedback. I got up for a moment because, like sometimes the sun goes down and it's like this perfect orange on the horizon. Yeah, that happened 4 minutes ago, and it ended like a minute ago. So it was only like a very brief window on the horizon, and it was very, very pretty. So I went to go look at that. That's what I did. I wonder, like, how. Like, I wonder how, like, why. You know what I mean? I'm trying to talk about the sun here, but like, why was the shape of the sun, did that only take 4 minutes to sink below the horizon? It seems like it should have taken longer because the sun is so big in the sky, but I do not know. I'm just a lonely writer on a live stream, thinking deep thoughts. I had dinner before this stream, but I think I'm gonna have second dinner afterwards. Yeah, because I'm getting a little hungry again. Oh, hi, Diego. This is a good question. So, how are the artistic differences going with your fellow writer? Well, I'm assuming you've watched my vlog, but if you haven't, or if anyone else here hasn't watched it yet, I'll briefly recap that. But me and my partner are writing Project Faye, which I was working on in the beginning of the stream, but so like we are like coming up with a story together, and I'm the one who's writing it, and we have differences towards like how a book is written. Like I have written a book before, he has not written a book before, but he's read a whole lot of fantasy, and I haven't read that much fantasy. So obviously we are already starting from different places of like perspectives towards writing a fantasy book. Something I mentioned in my video is that in terms of world building, I feel like letting the characters wander through what they will in the story and like not revealing everything. Meanwhile, my partner would like to somehow reveal as much plot and texture and culture of the world as possible, which I get. We have really cool story to tell, lots of like different layers we've created and added into the like core of the story, but like I'm not super pressed about showing all of that. And also, if I show all of that, I'm going to end up with a 150,000 word book, which is not good for a first draft or a second draft or a final draft. So I'm trying to like reach a compromise, but like we haven't talked since. Basically, I talked about that in the clip, which was last week, because he is sick right now. So like we haven't talked much about Project Faye. Obviously, like it takes a lot of bandwidth to think creatively about a project. We have also have differences in what else was it? What was the other thing I was talking? Oh yes, okay. I also mentioned in that vlog that like his perspective towards, so the draft is like almost 40,000 words. No. It's like almost 30,000 words now. So we have a 30,000 word long manuscript, and there are little problems along the way, and like he is super concerned about fixing these like problems. Some are minor, some are more major, some are medium sized, and he feels like they all need to be fixed before we like continue the plot further, which I get, makes sense. Like his perspective is you can't continue the story off of something that isn't like correct. And I get it. But me coming from the perspective of a writer who would like to finish this as soon as possible and feels like editing will come later, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time fixing all these little things in like the first 30,000 words of the book, because one, that takes a lot of time and creative energy away from the plot that still needs to be written. And two, I feel like it's not really a big deal because I can just edit it later. Like um, the main thing I need to get done, in my perspective, is to write the draft first, to get it all written and then fix it. And he wants it to be fixed first and then written, which I understand. Um, but like those are the two main conflicts we have right now, are about world building and fixing the draft before moving on. Now, as a compromise, while he has been sick, and also because we haven't talked about any more plot to write in the story, I have been making corrections all day today in Project Faye, like addressing all those like tiny little problems that like he had commented on in the draft. Not all of them, but like the major ones I've been fixing. I think I've been working on this for like 3 hours today. So I have been doing a lot of work on Project Faye today, and I, maybe won't do any more for the rest of this stream. But yes, I have been fixing tiny, tiny little things throughout these 30,000 words, and I somehow added a whole 1,000 words to the manuscript by doing that, and I'm not really sure how, because I feel like I only fixed like 10 things, but not all of them added like 100 words. I don't really get it. But otherwise, Project Faye is good. He texted me earlier today, and he was like, I told him I was doing like a correction pass while he was sick, and he was like, awesome. Now, that doesn't mean he likes it. It just means like he likes that I am putting forth the effort into fixing some things, which is good. In terms of chapter 10, I feel like writing a montage to kind of skip the next month in the story so we can get to the next plot point at the end of the month. And then after that, there will be some kind of party, the technically third party of the draft so far. But this is just my like thinking, like brainstorming about the plot. This hasn't been discussed yet, but it will have to wait until my partner has recovered somewhat. So that's where I'm at with Project Faye. My goal as well is to reach 50,000 words in the draft by the end of June. And I think there are only 30 days in June, but there are 31 days in May. And this means, well, when I last calculated it, it was on Monday. I needed to write 500 words a day, every day, to get to that 50,000 word mark. But yesterday I wrote 1,200 words, and today I wrote 1,200 words. So, I'm making that average go down, it seems. And I know me, myself as well. I have dips and valleys, like hills of creativity. And I will work on story a lot, and then not so much, and a lot, and not so much. So I guess I'm trying to bank words for those days when I don't feel like writing much, if at all, in Project Faye. Yeah, I think those are all my thoughts. If anyone else would like to talk about their work in progress or ask a writing craft question, I am a font of knowledge from my young adult romance that I have completed and am querying, and my young adult fantasy that I am in the process of drafting. So if you're interested in any of those topics, in writing, editing, querying, happy to answer. In the meantime, I'm going to edit my timer. Do not worry, we're not starting the third sprint yet. I'm just fixing this so I don't forget to do it myself. Hi, Casey. Yes, this is going to seem out of context for people who haven't watched the vlog, but I was in Augsburg on Saturday. That is not the city where I am stationed, not the city that I'm living in Bavaria. But yes, Augsburg was very lovely. I went thrift shopping. I had a croissant, which also I want to point out that something I think is true about Germany that doesn't is not apparent, that they call chocolate croissants. They're either called chocolate croissants or nougat croissants, but the inside is just straight up Nutella. Like it's not just chocolate, it's Nutella croissants. And like what like I wish they would say it's a Nutella croissant because like I don't mind Nutella. I like it. But also like when you're not expecting it, you're like, wait, what is oh, it's Nutella. So that was it was interesting to discover. I also went to the Mozart Museum and to the Augsburger Dom, which is a cathedral. Um, Great acoustics. It was very thank you for watching. It was a very fun time for me to take a day trip, and I might do another one this weekend. I don't know if you are in Germany, Casey. Um, if you have any like Germany city in Bavaria recommendations, that would be nice. Because I am looking to do some more like light exploring. I might do one over this weekend. Oh, you're in Charlotte. Well, okay. That's fine. I normally live in Chapel Hill. Oh, should have said that. I'm North Carolina. I know where Charlotte is. I know where Charlotte is. Um, Now I'm flustered. What was I gonna say? Now I gotta private this whole live stream. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do it though. What was I saying? Yes, I'm in Bavaria. I'm in a small city, so I don't want to announce the name of my city because I'm like paranoid about people finding me and like showing up, and like it's just a me thing. But I'm not gonna say where I am until after the internship. So you're in Charlotte. That's where I flew out of. It's pretty easy, but I do also have to fly there on the way back, which might be more difficult because that is where I will have to face customs. Hi, Lady Neo. Glad you are here. Wow, everyone's popping up right after these second sprints. Speaking of which, the banner is still up. Let me fix that. My trip has been interesting. It has invoked in me a diverse range of experiences and emotions. You can watch my Germany vlog if you haven't already to like figure out how like my first week was in Germany. That premiered just it's 2 hours ago. I almost said 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. for me. I don't know what time it is for you. But my trip, I would say overall, like it's been good for me. Not always physically or emotionally pleasant, but good for me in like from like a self-growth perspective, and also just like becoming more independent. Like I feel like more of an like adult, and I'm having I don't know gaining lots of self-confidence in doing um things by myself. Like I feel like I haven't lived by myself since um like practically never. I had a single dorm room my last 3 months of college, which was only like last year. So last spring I was also living by myself. Um And just doing that again, like, it's completely different the second time around because 'cause I've been living with my partner for a whole year, so that's been difficult to be, like, away from him and my cats now because I have cats now, um, but, like, I really like Germany's vibe. It's quiet, yet there are always birds singing, um, every day is between 50 and 75 degrees, which is a perfectly comfortable temperature to like oscillate between from day to night. So I find that nice. Um, there's obviously a lot of like cultural shocks for me, cultural differences that I'm like still learning to navigate. But I hope that answers your question, Lady Neo. Yes, I am very aware of these things. Thank you, Casey. Um, you are newbie by a romance writer. Ooh. When you say newbie, do you mean first draft? Yes, what do you mean by that? I would like to know. Um, hello, Javier. Good evening. Has traveling to another country inspired you to write in any way? Ooh. This is a good question. I don't think so at the moment, but I've only been here for a week and 3 days. I feel my like okay, hold on. Sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. My like philosophy, I guess, towards writing is if I have a project, I'm gonna stick on that project and like not try not to pursue others while I'm writing one thing, so I end up finishing the thing. So for that reason, I feel like I'm not being actively inspired by my like traveling and environment, but also I haven't done that much interesting stuff and I've like only been here for a week. Like I can definitely um here's how I also feel about coming to Germany. Is like I feel like doing this will eventually inspire my writing. Even though it's not doing it right now, um, a lot of my writing is inspired from like pulling on experiences in my past and not necessarily the present moment. So if I'm talking about Project Faye, for example, that I'm currently writing, um, that there is a lot of pottery in that book. There is a lot of research and like finding answers and just like being an artist. And over the past like 6 years, like that's what I was doing. Like in high school, I was like in advanced art classes. I was doing um, like pottery classes at the Cultural Arts Center. Like I was doing these things. And then also in my undergraduate education, so as like a college student, I was doing research all the time. And my major specifically was information science, and I was learning a ton about libraries. So there's a ton of library stuff in Project Faye as well. Um, so I feel like my experiences that I'm having now will affect my writing in the future, whether that is through like a like romance trope of like meeting someone abroad and trying to find them again, or like working a corporate office job for the first time, which ooh, I'm getting actively angry about. But I don't need to dump that on you. I'm only angry about it because of miscommunication, but not because of any like. No, I'm not angry about it because of miscommunication. I'm angry about it because of society. But I can talk about my job some other time, and I don't want to like dispel negativity on stream. Unless you want to know, then ask about it, and I'll go off after the next sprint. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Javier. Casey is currently on the first draft of the romance stuff, and you've been reading a lot of craft stuff, and you're a plotter. I love plotting. I relate to this. Casey asked if I keep a writer's journal, thoughts, places, ideas, descriptions when I'm out during the day. You know, I don't, but I do keep like a travel journal with me that I sometimes write in and like try to like record my experiences. Like I was just writing today about how I was really bored at work and I didn't want to walk home in the rain. And then I did. So that's what I was writing about today. But do I keep a writer's journal? I'd say, hmm, if I am trying, let me think about this. I have a notes notes app on my phone and a notes app on my Mac, and I think like I don't write things down physically in like an inspiration journal, but I do keep little tiny inspiration seeds digitally. Um, I think it is good advice to keep one such writer's journal like in your pocket and just write things down. Um, but I don't do that. I have been given that advice before and be like, that's a really good idea. Do I do it? No, because it's impractical. You just need like a really, really tiny notebook and a tiny pencil. Then maybe I would do it. I also believe that if an idea is meant to if I'm meant to write an idea, it's gonna stick with me for longer than it takes for me to, like, think about it and then I feel like immediately I need to write it down. Like, I don't feel this urgency to write it down because if I really care about it, if I have weight on it, it will come back to me later, and I will keep thinking about it, and then I'll write it down. Um, being in Germany could inspire Diego to write about the Middle Ages, you know? That's a good point because Project Faye is quite European inspired and Renaissance based. So maybe I should just pop over casually to Italy. Maybe I should do that. I'm vaguely planning a trip to Prague because I haven't been to that country before, the Czech Republic. But I have been to Italy before. I don't know. I would think about it. I appreciate all your questions, guys. But like, I need to start the next sprint because I actually have to wake up for work tomorrow, and I want to get through all these sprints before it's 11 p.m., which for you is going to be, I don't know, 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. So I'm going to pull up the sprint. Yes, it's time for a sprint. And then maybe I'll spill the tea about my work because y'all are nice enough to converse with me. How do I do this? What am I doing? I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Okay, I will see you guys in 35 minutes. Happy writing. All right, that was the end of the third sprint, my friends. During that little 35-minute section, we had to say goodbye to a couple of people. Lady Neo popped out, and JP Horror popped out. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you happen to be watching the replay, hi. And Casey has shared a line with us, and we both know he'd never date a girl like you. Spoken by male main character's hold on. Male main character's father to female main character after male main character as if she was his girlfriend. So amnesia. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know if I'm getting the acronyms right. The guy's father says to the girl, he'd never date a girl like you. Which rude. After he asked, "Are you my girlfriend?" He's suffering from amnesia. Got it. And I'm sure it makes much more sense when you're actually in the draft. I'm sorry, I was confused about that. And you got older brother's best friend and amnesia tropes. I have to say, I've never tried. You don't come across, or at least I don't come across the amnesia trope quite often. So I'm interested to see like what you do with that, and also I've never. It seems like such a complicated thing to deal with, but also one that sparks a lot of like tension and yeah, I don't know. It seems very interesting and complicated to write, as well as like you have to wrestle with like do they get their memories back? Do they not? But older brothers, the love interest is your brother's best friend. Ooh, that makes it complicated. But yeah, the hardest part is its single point of view. Hers. Hmm. Hmm. Do you mean that it's in first person, or that you're finding it hard to write in only one point of view when you want to write in his point of view as well? Because I can see that definitely being really hard from a first person perspective, because you only have access to the information that the girl knows, and you can't be like a little omnipotent with it. I'm just thinking about like how hard it would be. I guess maybe it wouldn't be hard to try to write it from if maybe I'm just missing a little context here. If the female main character remembers their relationship before the amnesia and now has new relationship, that makes it complicated. But if it was from the guy's perspective who doesn't remember, it'd be pretty uncomplicated. I get it. Okay, so you are writing in first person point of view. That makes it hard. Because you only have access to her perspective and you can't like you have to like make her think about everything you want the reader to know instead of like just explaining some things that a person wouldn't normally think about. So that makes it an even harder challenge. But I'm not saying you can't do it. First person is a very compelling, romantic point of view to write from. He's the one with amnesia. So the reader and she needs to know if when he's that is hard. But I believe you can do it. And also this is your first draft, so I wouldn't worry. Just a little unsolicited advice for you, but I wouldn't worry about trying to nail everything right the first time because you're not. So just like write what you think is best the first time around, and then when you're coming back to the second draft, that is when you can learn from what like doesn't sound right, and you can make it better and like learn how to like use this perspective to your advantage and learn how to like operate within its constrictions. Have I ever tried to write first person? Let me think about this. maybe I need to like, it's a 0 draft as well. Okay, well that means like less pressure. All is good. While I think about whether I've written in first person or not, I want to introduce the card deck that we are using tonight. Oh, and I also didn't talk about what I did during that sprint, but like I'll come back to it. And also, I didn't do much. We are using like an oldie but a goodie. We are using Gardens and Flowers playing cards. This is a gift to me from my partner, and how this works is for the 4th sprint. Speaking of, I need to change that banner. For the 4th sprint, we will draw 4 cards and do the number of minutes that applies to the number on the card. You get it. But first I gotta shuffle it to keep like the randomness good. Casey finds 3rd person easier to write. The first gives all the emotional feels. You know, I do agree. I do agree with that. Well, let me think about it. First, let me think about if I've written anything in first person. I'm going to. Seaside is definitely not. Seaside is in 3rd person past, and that is the book I'm currently querying. Project Faye, also in 3rd person past, although I did consider writing it in 1st person past tense, but my co-creator, my partner, was like, he hated it, so I was like, well, I can't. We can't create this book if you hate the voices that I choose to write in. So I just kept it simple, tried and true, 3rd person past. Okay, so let me look at Project Popstar, which is a bit of a deeper cut. And if you're new here, you don't know anything about Project Popstar, but I started that. Trying to find it in my Google Docs right now. I started it last year, I'm pretty sure. And I wrote like 2 half first drafts for that. Like one, I wrote it one way, and one I wrote it a different, completely experimental way. So I'm trying to like pull up that conglomerated draft, see what perspective it's written in. I think it's written in first person. It is in first person. Look at that. Oh my, it's in first person present. Wow. I did not even remember that. My last edit of this document was, when was it? July 15th, 2022. I can't start thinking about Project Popstar, or else I'm gonna want to write Project Popstar, and that's not good for finishing Project Faye right now. So yes, I have written in first person, and I guess I liked it. Yeah, I think they can. I honestly think it comes down to the kind of story you're trying to tell, like which tone of voice and which point of view is going to come most naturally. It really depends on the story you're trying to tell, and just like, I don't know, try to like think about the kind of story you're writing and also the vibes. Diego has finished work. Congratulations. I will now watch another episode of, I don't know how to say this, Poirot, if it's French, or Poirot, if it's not. I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing it might be an anime because it has a strange name, or at least an unfamiliar name to me. But yeah, Seaside is written in 3rd person past because the plot of the story and the characters, they are both hung up on things that have happened in their past, and they are both distanced from themselves. So I chose that to be 3rd person past intentionally. Project Faye is in 3rd person past because that just follows the convention of like when you're writing a fantasy book. So like that's why that one is 3rd person past, and it's also like pretty easy to write in, pretty accessible to most readers. They know how to read that, and I don't need to make the book more complicated than it already is. Yeah, Project Popstar, I think I wrote in first person because it was very intimately related to the singular character in the book. Like all the events revolved around this one character, so I wanted her to like literally be like the singular focus. So like that's why that was written in first person. Yeah, just a little bit of my philosophy. Casey asks, if you could recommend one book on fiction writing, but not an introductory book, what would it be? This is a good question. I've not written too many No, that's right. I've not written too many craft books because I haven't written any. But I've not read too many craft books. When you say not introductory, I think what you're getting at is not here's how you write a book. Not like here's how you create a character. And I have liked two really good books that are like half they're more like creative philosophy books about writing, not like philosophy as in like philosophers, but like just like mindsets, motivations towards writing. And I will write them in the comments for you, but one is really short. And it's called Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. I might be spelling this author's name wrong, but this book is definitely Bird by Bird. And the audiobook's great if you can listen to it, but it's like just like her like approach towards writing, and I found it not only funny but also very grounding. Like I wrote down a lot of quotes when I listened to that book. Oh, you've got it? Have you read it? That's what I want to know. And the second one is called if you've read Bird by Bird, you might have read this one. Cannot talk and type at the same time. Is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book is like, oh, you have read Bird by Bird. Well, I mean, did you like it? This book I also read as an audiobook, and it was a little bit more of like it was very motivational, like struggle through like it was. This author like is very, oh, you haven't, good, maybe I will introduce you something helpful. This book is it's a very, very popular book. This author, she had a couple of big hits before this book, and Big Magic is a reflection on like her sudden success and like what being a writer means for her and like what inspiration means for her. She personally believes in like that like ideas are like almost beings and they visit people, and if you don't like enter into a relationship with an idea, it will find someone else and you will lose the idea. Like some of that was a bit like out of scope for me, like I didn't relate to me, but other stuff really resonated, that like all jobs suck somewhat, but including being a writer. And if you want to be a writer, you have to accept that some parts of it are going to suck, but you just have to ask yourself if the good parts are worth the sucky parts. And so like, yeah, I found that very like motivational. Like I also wrote down a lot of quotes from that in my phone. So like I have those and I forgot about it, but like also very good. I'm glad you have not read it. I'm glad you like Bird by Bird as well. I have not read Stephen King's On Writing, and I don't plan to. I've heard it's very memoir and not really writing advice. Now, if you've read any craft books because I haven't read that many, if you like, I've read like probably 3. And I don't remember the third one. So if you have any to recommend, Casey, like let me know. Yeah, too much memoir, not enough advice. Although I have heard one specific piece of advice of Stephen King's that I have like adopted into my own, I guess, personality. But it's the idea like if an idea is meant to stay with you, it will stay with you, and so you shouldn't be like bothered with writing down every idea you have because the good ones will actually stay. And I found that to be like true for me. Story Genius, I have heard of this, but I also like, I feel like I have a resistance to craft books because I feel like homework, like a textbook. Like I'm gonna be like having to do like exercises. And I think that's why like I tend to read more like the creative philosophy books over the here's how to do something books. So let me know your thoughts on that. Like if you've read these, like are they like what's their vibe? That's what I want to know. The only thing you love about Stephen King is that The Boys in the Basement or Come the Story at Nights of God. Interesting, I have not heard this, but I think I get it. Get the idea of this, where you should like let your subconscious be rambunctious towards a story, I think. I definitely have heard of Story Genius. I've also Save the Cat Writes a Novel is a big book that's out there that I have not read, that a lot of people have read. Have not read it. I guess because I think it's going to feel like homework. Oh, he goes to sleep thinking about the story. Oh, that's a bad idea. Like, I feel like that's a bad idea. Because not only are you going to forget by the time you wake up, what if you have an idea, if you have a dream about your story, you're super going to forget it. That seems like bad advice to me. Wired for story is great for understanding why humans are wired for story. You know what? I might be interested in that. Let me write these down on. Let me see if they're on my library's website. They say wired for story. That's wired faux story. They don't have that. Do they have it? They don't have it, but I can recommend it. Let me see. Look at Story Genius. They've got to have Story Genius. Story Genius. What? They don't have Story Genius either. I do have Stephen King's On Writing though, which is very on brand. And how to tie in that human aspect in storytelling. Interesting. Well, I still might look them up later. Let me Wired for story. The other one? Story Genius. Okay. Thank you for your recommendations. I know I said I was going to talk about work, but I feel like I gotta do the last sprint. Like I said, I'm just hoping for a low number. So much so that I might even pull the numbers I want, if you allow me. Let's be honest, I don't even want to sprint. So let me know if you want to sprint. Pick cards 8, 4, 10, and 5. 8, 4. So you want specifically 27. Is that 27? I don't know. Is it 27? 5. I'm so embarrassed to be doing this on camera. What is it? You were guessing? Oh, you're Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to cut the deck and try for a low number. 6. Okay. That is a mid number. Oh, you know what? That's a nice picture of carrot. That's a nice carrot. I don't know. They just look nice. Nice. You have permission to laugh at my pain. You know what? It's a pretty card though. Look at that queen. Focus, please. Got a nice cloak. A bit witchy, I might say, with that hat. Okay, so we're already in a bad place. Oh, frick. I don't want to wait for this long. I gotta go to bed. Okay, what is it? What is the card at least? Iowa Seed Company with this, I don't know, this American king over some flowers and corn. Great. What could it be? Is it another face card? It's in the face card. I should have even said I wanted to. I should have prayed for a high number. Then it would have come back to me like this. This is a sickle. Uh, and some donkeys, but it's the Great Depression. I don't really know. Okay, friends. Okay, I said I would, and I have never not listened to the cards before, so I'm not ruining that karma. So this is 12, this is 11, and this is 13. So if you want to do this math while I try to figure it out, go ahead. You probably have a calculator more closer to hand than I do. But this will be 18 plus 29. Oh, I did this a hard way. 42 minutes. Is it 42 or is it 32? 12. Hold on. 12. This is already 30. It's 42. Fine. Because I'll tell you what I was doing for that last sprint. I was playing Legend of Zelda. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing any writing. I finished my feedback form. And I didn't write at all. I was playing Zelda. And luckily for you, I have just 42 minutes left before I need to go to bed. So that's great. It's all great. It's great. It's big shuffle fatal. Okay, well, I guess I better stop griping about it so I can go on and get to it. Casey, I hope this is productive for you. I hope you do so much for your zero draft and you get something out of this. Sprint! It is indeed a random sprint, and I will see you guys in 42 minutes. Here we go. Bye. I'm still here, but verbally not here. According to Casey's request, the sprint is now over. Okay. Oh, that's not right. Here we go. Back to me. As you can hear from my voice, I am quite tired and appreciative, Casey. Thank you for making that request, and thank you for coming. Thank you for everyone who watched this stream, who stuck around with me to the end. Hi, Diego. You're about to finish chapter 30 of your series. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to say this right either. But Hercule Poirot is a Belgian private detective created by Agatha Christie, and they did a TV adaptation, and it's good. Well, I'm glad you like it. Good night to you. Yes, now I guess I'm doing my little outro now. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the replay, thank you as well. Here on this channel, I make all kinds of writing content, including live streams like this one. Thank you. I am looking forward to sleep very much. I think I'm going to try to find a different time for my next live stream so I don't have this problem of streaming right before bed. Might do it on Friday evenings. I'm not worried about it, or what would be Saturday or Sunday morning for you, what would be afternoon for me. But we will see. I will keep you posted on my community tab. Subscribe to this channel if you want access to that and all the other kinds of content that I put out. My vlog came out today. It was my first week in Germany, and I had a lot of fun with it. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.